Oh, what's up, y'all? How are y'all doing? Welcome back to Second Street. Sorry, I got way too into that groove there before the show, and I'm sorry that we were just a few minutes late. Thank you all so much for being here today. We're going to have a community stream. We're going to bring some of you on, probably maybe about 2 or 3 of you at a time. Probably only 2, so there's like a couple of us at a time. We're going to talk about WandaVision. Should be a very good time. Thank you all so much for being here. I mean, you know, there's, God, what is that? We're hours away from it dropping. I know here it's like midnight, like 3 a.m. if you're out there on the East Coast. Is that right? Because it's not like at midnight, right? I'm pretty sure they're like it's midnight my time. I'm pretty sure. Either way, I'm gonna be sleeping. I'm gonna wake up early, watch it. Probably, I don't know. Maybe for the Myrtle Maniacs, the members only, will end up doing a live watch along or something tomorrow in the morning. I don't know. Let me know if you guys want to do something like that. All the Myrtle Maniacs out there. No, not Myrtle. No, and look, I even got my look. I got. Oh man, got my little. I got my little earpiece in there. Got security. Eric Heine, thank you so much for being here. We got Red Raven 96. LB is here. The Widow. Thank you all so much for being here. Hope you're all doing good. Yeah, sorry, a few minutes late. And you know what else? Like for some reasons, like Streamlabs was like a little like I don't know, something was different. Like I don't know, so I had to restart it. I had to restart it before we got started here on the show today. But here, let me. And this, believe me when I say this is not going to be a beautiful start off to the show. It's not going to look very good as we get going off the ground here to get ready for this show. But if you would like to join, I'm getting ready to drop a link right here into the chat where you can join in. Give me a call on Skype. It is through Skype, so you'll have to, hopefully you have that downloaded on your phone, or you can click that link and I think it'll still take you to the browser. Yeah, you can do voice only, Mike. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Voice only is fine. Voice only works. That works out just fine. Let me get this shrunk down a little bit there. But absolutely, you can come on just voice only. Let's see. I guess I better join my own meeting. And already we got our first guest here. Let me get over here. We're gonna have to add him on here. Where are we at here? This is why I was saying it's not gonna be pretty at first, folks. We've got to get everything lined up and ready to go on here. Yes, how are you doing, Eric? Yes, how are you doing? Yes, I can. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Eric? No, I don't think so. Let's see. No, I should be good. I should be, I may have to, here, let me see if we can get you added on here. Ooh, yeah, that doesn't look good. There we go.
Is a device that can remote to control the broadcast show.
All right. Okay, can you hear me, Eric?
Oh, I'm on my phone.
All right, can you hear me? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Okay, here, let me see. I don't think it's my settings. Let me check. Yeah, can you hear me,
I can't
Eric?
hear you.
You can hear me? You can't hear me. Yeah, check the settings on your phone. See if you have it muted or something. Cause yeah, I've got my how about that? There we go.
All right.
All right.
I can hear you. I can hear you, man.
All right. There we go. Yeah, just some setting here on Streamlabs. How are you doing today, Eric?
I'm doing great. Awesome.
So, what would you've been waiting to come on the show for quite a while? What is it you'd like to talk about on WandaVision? I know I'm certainly looking forward to the show. Seeing all these people finally come back.
Yeah, I'm excited for the show. I hear that Mephisto's planning something really bad.
You think you think Mephisto is the big bad?
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say it seems like all the rumors so far seem to lead to that. I'm not really for sure. Like there's so much stuff going on in the trailers. Like they're not really giving us much. I mean, we don't see any real villains except for close to villains except for Agatha Harkness, and I'm thinking it's Sword.
Not YouTube. Yeah. All right. So, what was that you were saying?
Well, they haven't really shown us any real villains in the trailers. The closest thing they've really shown us is Agatha Harkness, and other than that, we've only really seen Sword and no other real type of villainous characters other than maybe Sword and Agatha Harkness. So you still
Who's Agatha Harkness?
Agatha Harkness will be the who Catherine Hahn is playing in the TV show. In the comic book, she was a person who helped Wanda kind of learn her magic a little bit more and get more hone her magical abilities, if you will.
Oh, okay, I see. All right. So she's gonna be involved somehow in this series?
Well, yeah, I was gonna say she's in the trailers. Catherine Hahn is playing Agatha Harkness, and it's really kind of hard to say if maybe is Agatha Harkness and Wanda maybe both being manipulated.
I believe so. I believe so. It's either Baron Mordo or Mephisto, and doing all the doing all the chaos.
Mm-hmm. Baron Mordo. That's an interesting theory. What made you think of Baron Mordo? Because that's pretty interesting. Because I mean, hey, you never know. It could be.
Well, I think Baron Mordo in the comics is a very powerful kind of being. He's got magic. So I'm wondering if Baron Mordo is going to play a big part in Wanda's manipulation of some sort. I think that the reality that she's creating is sort of an illusion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that Vision is not really there, right? Correct.
I don't think so because on the other day on even in one of my videos I was showing there's this clip where Wanda and Vision are driving down the road it looks like it's right after their wedding and they're driving into Westview and you can see on the reflection of the hood of their car clearly see her you can see her reflection on the hood of the car but you don't see his, not even his hat he's wearing or anything. So I think at that point, yeah, I think he's still a figment of her imagination.
Okay. Do you think that the reality that she's creating is based off the reality stone or some kind of the reality?
I think what's going on is I think. Oh, can you guys hear Eric just fine? Let me know in the comments if you guys can hear Eric just fine. I seen a couple at first said you can't hear him, but I think that was on my side. I think that was my side. I think. But let me know down in the comments below, guys. Um, but yeah, I think that could be because we've seen there in the trailers where she's kind of sitting there and you see like the Mind Stone exploding and everything. And I have my own theories on that kinds of stuff. I kind of think like because the theory I'm going with is that they're actually going to be living in Pleasant Hill. And I think it's kind of a similar scenario there that's going on, and maybe she's kind of sucked everybody into this reality, and I think that's what's going on is everybody's kind of sucked into this reality. But basically, in that storyline, the kind of the person that gave them their powers was this thing called Kobik, which was when shards from the cosmic cubes had merged together and became a sentient little girl.
Oh,
But I'm thinking they would obviously change it a little bit. I think they would change it a little bit for this series because the MCU don't do direct comic adaptations.
okay. I see. What?
Okay, you guys can hear. Okay, yeah, they can hear you now. If anybody else wants to join the show, we can get a couple of us on here. Go ahead and feel free to should be able to click the link and join the show if you all want to. So
All right.
yeah, go on. Do you have any other theories?
Yeah. I say that Wanda's gonna try and get out of there somehow, and uh, and uh, uh, Doctor Strange is gonna get involved.
Yeah, definitely.
He's gonna break her out of that reality.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting seeing his part in it because we do know that Benedict Cumberbatch is supposed to be coming into the into the show, and it's making me wonder. Oh, can't call in lonely virus. Oh, okay. um, it is kind of curious. Like, is he going to be a major part of the show? I mean, or do you think he's just going to have a small part towards the end, leading into Doctor Strange 2?
Yeah, I think he's gonna lead into Doctor Strange too as well.
Yeah. Yeah. ReeferMan Review says it is a very for you all. Wanda is in hell. Is a very what? Well, I must have missed something there, Reefer. I must have missed something there, Reefer. And if you guys have any questions or anything, feel free to leave those down in the comments below. But the easiest thing to do, and I'm not going to sit here and beg for super chats, guys, but the easiest thing to do is tag me so it highlights in the chat at Second Street Marvel. At Second Street Marvel, so it highlights in the chat. So I can see it. So I can see it there in the chat. Um, Red Ravens 96 says, I'm eating Doritos 3D. Do they still even make those?
I would love some Doritos.
Dang. So, recently there's been some news that Chris Evans might be coming back into the MCU.
Oh yeah, I've heard a lot of that. There's a lot of YouTube videos about it as well.
Yeah, it was an article from Deadline, and Deadline seems to be they're a pretty reliable source. They're a pretty reliable source for news and everything, and they're saying that Chris Evans is possibly in talks to come back as Captain America. Well, we would all assume. And I don't know. Interesting. Do you think he's going to come back?
Yeah, I think he's gonna come back. I don't know what his role is. So I think he's gonna be a part of the story. And like you said months ago, talking about like the Hydra Cap
Mm-hmm.
thing, he's gonna be joining that and joining with Sword.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be interesting. I mean, I'd like to. I mean, me myself, I would like to see him do more of that Hydra Cap stuff because to me that stuff's cool. Like that's kind of some of the stuff that brought me back into back to reading comic books. So if they did that, I'd be okay with it. I'm okay with it. Yeah. But so yeah, I mean, I think Chris Evans will definitely be coming back soon. And I've been talking about that for a while. Like most of these people, I think we'll see them end up coming back at some point or other for small cameos or anything like that. Robert Downey Jr. They're not done. One of the reasons I think Chris Evans is going to come back too is I mean like even as much as he wants to do other films and everything like that, and he wants to pursue a directing career as well, which he has directed a movie. So by all means, by all rights, he is a director.
Which movie was that? Which movie was that?
It's a movie called. Oh man, what is that movie called? All of a sudden I can't remember what the name of that movie was called. I remember watching it. It was a pretty good movie. Oh man. I honestly cannot remember it. The name of the movie. But I remember watching it. I thought it was a pretty good movie for his directorial debut. It's not like an action movie or anything. It's like a slow, like I don't know, kind of like it's not even a rom com, because there's not really any comedy to it necessarily. But it was okay, and so I mean he's done that. But I mean even to do things like that, it still takes money. You still got to have money to pay the bills, and missing those Marvel checks. Sure cuts into your wallet quick, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Are you putting me on camera, by the way? Did everybody see me?
Yeah. We can all see you.
All right, cool.
Yeah, you're there.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah. Red Raven 96 says, yeah, they brought him back for a limited time. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, who? Brought who? It was supposed to say here is a theory. It says, oh, dang. Oh man,
Hey,
there we go.
Hey,
What's
can
up,
I
Mike
get
Porter?
myself off the camera?
Yeah, let me see.
There we go.
Yeah, oh, talk, Mike. Sit. Let's see if it works.
Hello, how are you doing?
Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. That works. Good. How you doing, Mike?
I can see Eric. There's Eric.
hi.
How you doing, young man?
I'm great.
I'm glad you got your community stream, and you're doing great. I like to hear your takes.
All right, cool. Glad to hear yours too.
Well, Trinity and Eric and everybody in the chat, I just want to take this time to say at 3:00 this morning, we are finally going to get MCU. And it's going to be going for a couple of years now. Just to bring that out, just for everybody to know. Because between the TV shows and the movies, it's going to be nonstop. And I just think it's incredible. This is finally what a lot of us have been waiting for.
Absolutely.
Yeah. As far as theories, man, you guys have really covered it. I really like your theory a lot, Trinity, about, the, what do you call it, hill?
Yeah, Pleasant Hill.
The Pleasant Hill. And I also think that they're definitely, whoever's in it, Agnes is kind of trapped in it, I think. I don't think she is really pulling, the puppet strings.
Right.
So, I think, wow, when I don't get any things prepared, Trinity, I sound like a babbling idiot.
No, I
my
totally
God.
understand.
I start,
Well,
you
one of the things you're saying there about them, Agatha being possibly manipulated too, is I kind of think that's what's going on is just everything there kind of seems like Wanda was maybe there chilling and an event happened and that's kind of what brought everybody there, and as things started spinning out of control it explodes and sucks them all into this reality is kind of what I'm thinking happens. And then
no,
I'm thinking maybe Agatha Harkness, maybe she, or Agnes as they're calling her. I think maybe she ends up coming into that because maybe she's actually working for Sword, or maybe she was just there and maybe she's being monitored just like Wanda is.
well, let me ask you this. Do you think, according to you, you think that she's being put in there? But also, I think Wanda might have caused it also because of the grief she has.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like maybe she was watching TV,
Right.
feeling sorry for everything that's gone. She's lost all her loved ones or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, maybe they take that opportunity to put her, in this trance, and she wakes up, and it's going to be all these cool sitcoms. And that's another thing.
Yes.
As far as I'm a nerd, I'm also a very big sitcom guy. I mean, Dick Van Dyke, and the rumor with Dick Van Dyke possibly being on the show. You've heard that he's possibly got a little thing, and I know that's not exciting to nerds.
That actually
but
is.
to me, yeah, to me that's cool. A 95-year-old man that is still walking around probably gets around me, but it's I just think it's going to be incredible. Of course, I'm all giddy about it. I'm usually the glass half full guy, and of course, I'm one of the biggest MCU stands you can get. But I'm very excited about it, and to see what Monica Rambeau is going to do, and are we going to get to see her hero or powers? And then Paul Bettany has said that in a few shows, it is going to turn just like Kevin Feige might have alluded to it too. And it's going to become a full blown MCU movie.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's going to be on the TV show, but it's going to be a movie style. And I was on someone else's stream a few minutes ago, and they kept calling it a movie, and someone got onto them about TV, and I said, it's not TV, it's not movie, it's the MCU,
Right.
it's a way of life.
Yeah. Was that over on Burke's? Was that over on Burke's stream on Twitch?
It was.
Okay.
It was
yeah.
on Burke.
Yeah, I was over there hanging out for a little while.
Yeah, it's a way of life. Is the way.
Yeah, and that's true. I mean, I think I think you're right about that. It's not really either. I mean, it's the MCU. But before we carry on, I want to introduce. We got another guest here. We got my man LB from the Lonely Banter in the house as well.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Good evening. Good evening. I sound like deaf. I don't know what's going on with my voice. It's like gone, kind of.
Oh no, you didn't get the.
You don't have the Rona.
Yeah.
You can't get coronavirus if you ain't around anybody.
Nature finds a way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess this is what happened when you don't drink water in a day. Like your body's like, hold on, what's happening here? You're not drinking water right now, I guess. Yeah, but whatever, man. How y'all doing tonight?
Doing great. How are you?
Well, I just told you I sound like deaf, but thanks for asking again.
Look, I sound like a funny cartoon character, so with a southern accent, so it's all good.
Yeah, I'll be all right.
Your kids running around in your room.
Yeah.
Eric, what's up, Eric?
What's up?
You never respond to me when I text you in the chat.
What?
When I always message you in the chat, you never respond. I'm like, man, Eric don't like me.
You're just playing with me. I know it.
Oh, I'm serious. I'm very serious.
I'm sorry. I didn't respond to you.
No, it's all good.
What did you say?
I say hi to you. I ask you how you doing. Oh, there go them kids again.
I didn't know you existed.
Nah, what's up, man? I'm just messing with you. I'm messing with you. I had fun. I had fun listening to you tonight.
All right, thank you.
You finally got your community stream. You've only been asking Trinity for a community stream for like 2 years now.
Yeah, no.
Hey, man. Technology permitting, we're finally getting all this done. And plus, it's the right time to start doing all this too. Anyway, and this thing is Skype is starting to mess with me, and I'm not liking it.
Nope.
I hope we do another one of these too.
Yeah, well, we'll probably start doing some more often. Probably here, maybe about once a week. We'll start doing some, just talking about these things, getting ready to go into the next week. Maybe next Thursday we'll do another one. Just kind of depends. I might end up doing them in the morning. For me, it's really about time and balancing all that stuff out. I'm not the best about that.
Okay. So my question to you, Trent, is that how many episodes are we getting for this WandaVision show? And are we doing it all in order, all in one, or just like one episode at a time?
Well, I do know for sure that, supposedly there's 9 episodes, and I do know for sure that tomorrow, they are releasing 2 episodes. Marvel, I know they for sure actually just put that in one of their promos they ran.
Actually, I thought it was 6.
That's what it was originally supposed to be, is what I was told.
Yeah.
I have no clue.
I heard the same thing. I heard 9 episodes, but I didn't see it confirmed, and that it's a good rumor that we'll see 2 tomorrow.
Yeah,
and then one after, then one, each week.
Yeah, they just did a promo on. I think it was they released it on Twitter. where they were talking about that it will be a 2-episode premiere on Friday. So we are for sure getting 2.
Yeah,
Right,
2 episodes.
yeah.
That's all I know. 2 episodes. I don't know how many episodes. I don't know how long they are. I know nothing else about this show.
Yes, and supposedly it's supposed to be 6 hours of content is what a lot of these shows are supposed to be. So it'll be interesting because I know when they announced it last year, they had actually said that it's going to be. It was originally announced as 6. They actually just said 6 hours. They didn't say how many shows, but they said it was 6 hours worth of content.
Yeah. I mean, like, what Mandalorian, like, some episodes were like 20, 25 minutes. Some were like 45. Like, it was all over the place. So, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard 2.5 hour, but I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, the left to me don't matter, man. As long as they're good episodes and not just putting filler in things, then I'm cool with it, man. Because, like, I'd rather a great 20-minute episode than a okay 40-minute episode.
Right. And yeah, I'm kind of wondering if they're going to kind of balance it almost like they did with The Mandalorian, where some are going to be half hour, some 40 minutes.
I mean, yeah, as long as the story get told, I'm cool with it, man. I ain't complaining about time. It's like, it's not like I'm paying a fee to watch the episode.
Right. And there was there's some people out there they want to binge. They want them all dropped at once, and I'm kind of like, I don't know. I'm not really into that. Like, I'm not really into the binging and all that stuff anyway, and I'd rather have it, to have something to talk about week after week for the next, month and a half, 2 months.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with binging, I've always said this, is like when you binge it, it's cool that you get everything at once, right? But then you talk about it for like a day or 2 or 3, it's over. On to the next thing. With the Disney Plus model of doing it 1 per week, you're spending the next week talking about the episode. So you're like, for the 8-9 episode season, you're gonna be talking about the season for 9-10 weeks.
Right. Absolutely.
Exactly. And you're speculating in between also, like what we did Mandalorian, like Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Cobra Kai season 3 was great, but no one's talking about it now. There is no buzz.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. But yeah, it's over. Yeah, it's a done discussion at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, like, I mean, I know everyone's memory is different, but like for me with binging shows, everything is just like one long episode and you forget details. Like, for example, the first 4 seasons of Game of Thrones, right? I binged it like years ago, like all in like a week or so. And then I've been rewatching the series the past couple weeks, and it's like, man, I forgot so many details because I binged everything at once.
Yeah, and yeah, I was insane, and I think, I mean, that's kind of the thing too. Is, I mean, for me, if you're just gonna drop stuff just to binge all of it at once, just make a movie. just make a movie.
Yeah.
But that's what we'll do. We'll spend a couple of days digesting this, talking about it. Whether you like it or not, but then you talk about the Easter eggs,
yeah,
and then you go on to speculation, and then you're so excited for the next week, and and when you get done with this series, then you go right into Winter Soldier and Falcon. So I mean, it's a really smart model.
It is.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is going to be like this, like it was in Star Wars, but the people who stream for the reaction in the middle of the morning, they get thousands of people, and Cobra Kai, you just got a few basically some spoiler videos, and that was it. But of course, Star Wars is bigger, and Marvel is bigger, and yeah, I'm like, oh man, this is almost like New Year's Eve waiting for this, or Christmas Eve.
Yeah, absolutely.
For me,
absolutely.
I mean, like, I love that Disney did this the way they're doing it, man. I mean, because everything in life is just moving too fast, man. You just need to let things breathe and digest stuff, man. It's like imagine if we, like I said, if we got this whole season all in one night, it's just like, okay, we waited this long for the MCU, then we watched every episode in like 8 hours, then like we're exhausted from it, and then we're on to something else to talk about. Like, no, man, that's not fun. I want to talk about this for the next few weeks.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, see, a dude who reviews says, I'm impatient. I want it all now, but the weekly episodes make sense. And yeah, and I kind of feel that way too. Like I kind of want it all now, but like I'm great. I'm perfectly fine with the weekly model and doing that because like for me it even worked with like the Mandalorian. I love Star Wars and everything, but just kind of after the sequel trilogy is kind of like I'm not really excited about anything, and that kind of gave us something constantly out there. It's like, hey, here's a little bit more, here's a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I want it all like right now. I want to watch it right now, but like, I prefer it to be weekly because it's just a lot more fun to do it that way, man. Just when we go to the movie theater to watch the MCU movies the night they come out or whatever, and then like we're talking about the movies until the next movie.
Yeah.
Like not necessarily. We're not talking about the movies for the next movie, but we're talking about it for a few weeks, and then we'll talk about what's going to happen next.
Right.
It's a constant cycle of discussing it. So, yeah, man, good job Disney Plus and not caving into the millennials that want everything now.
Oh man, dang! You hear that, duder? That was shots fired. Pew pew. Red Raven 96 says, in my opinion, the weekly episode is better because each week you have something to look for instead of watching all at the same time when you got to wait longer for more content. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. 100%.
To add on to Mike point earlier about the content, like for someone, for content creators that want to talk about Marvel but haven't had any like Marvel stuff to talk about, here you go. You got something to talk about for every week for the next 2 months.
Right.
So it'll be a lot of fun, man. I look forward to it. I miss talking about Marvel stuff, man. I do.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Eric? What do you think about that? Do you like the binge or do you like the weekly?
I like the weekly.
You like the weekly?
Yeah.
Definitely. Oh, Duder says I'm a Gen Xer, I think.
Man, they be switching those things up like every week, man. Who knows? I might be a baby boomer now or something.
What do you
Netflix identify
does
as?
that, but most streaming apps have gotten away from the binge mode. Only Netflix does it.
Yeah.
I mean, even HBO Max and Hulu, they all do it that way now.
Oh, okay.
What Disney is doing,
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, I think it's changed over to that because I mean it's the smartest. I think it's the smartest way to do it.
Yeah. Companies go to what Disney does, the companies will do. The other companies will follow.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is like I grew up, through the 80s and 90s we had satellite TV. And I remember like HBO would have some of those shows like Dream On and stuff, and I think those were only like once a month. That they used to release some of those shows instead of like even weekly. It was like once a month. And I was like, geez, like think about that if they did that instead. Like, wouldn't that be like that'd be torture?
Real torture. People will be going to Burbank to burn down Disney to get these episodes.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, we can't say something like that right now.
There'd be riots. People be no, we're not.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
my bad, people.
But
Ralph Dupree says.
Back to what I'm saying is that after we have Bucky and Winter Soldier or Falcon or whatever it's called, then you've got Loki, and then hopefully the movies don't get moved back, and we've got the movies continuing. We are going to have like 2 or 3 years with not much breaks.
Right.
I mean, if everything starts in May with the movies between MCU, well, they're all MCU movies, but also the Sony MCU, you're going to have 4 movies this year if nothing gets pushed back. Plus, you've got 3 or 4 shows. You're going to have the What If, And if it doesn't happen this year, you're going to have Hawkeye. And then after Hawkeye, I believe Miss Marvel will probably be early 22.
Yeah.
So we're going to have content for a while.
Absolutely.
And, it's the shows are just going to keep going, plus the movies. So it's almost like they gave us a break and an anticipation.
Yeah.
I said that in my commentary, even though it was a joke, because we did have the pandy.
Yeah.
But it's almost like they took that break and they've got the momentum, and now it's going to come back. Everybody wants it, and it's not going away for a long time.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think we got to look out, because it looks like even Kevin Feige himself is on that Marvel diet now. He's getting Marvel fit, so is he going to be in a movie soon? It's hard to say, but it looks like he's on that Marvel diet, man. But Ralph Dupree says, where'd it go? Yeah. I agree with Red Raven. Weekly is better. You get a week to theorize and then be surprised. He says, binge, forget, and move on to the next binge is not the way. Right. Yeah, absolutely.
At all.
Ooh, Park Outdoors, thank you so much for being here as well. And guys, make sure that you smash that like button on your way in. Hey, and tell your friends to come hang out with us. We're gonna, be here talking for, I don't know, maybe at least I don't know, what time are we at right now? 4:40, for at least another hour.
Yeah, how's it going, Parker?
E equals MCU says Feige cast as Doctor Doom. Yeah. Oh dang, we got Feige Doom, right? He's on. that would be pretty good. That would be pretty funny. That would be pretty funny. What else? Did anybody catch that the Marvel Entertainment did a premiere here on YouTube this morning, where they had an interview. It was like a virtual launch party, and they had like a lot of the different Marvel stars on there. Anybody happen to catch that?
Oh, I actually didn't catch that. Was that DC Plus?
No,
it was on YouTube. Right?
It's on YouTube.
It was on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Y'all saw the end of it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I figured they'd probably do it on all of them. Probably why it ended up freezing up for a little while.
Yeah, I caught the end of it. I did not
catch that. No.
Yeah, I saw part of it. It was, I think it was a live stream plus, all the a bunch of the actors that were coming in.
Yeah.
And I didn't get to see all of it.
Yeah. Oh, XR says no. I was watching Santa. I had Santa's stream on, but I was listening to that for those first few minutes. But yeah, and the thing is, like, they were kind of interviewing all of these actors, and I was sitting there. They were going through the list of the actors that were joining, and I'm like, on the cast, I'm like, dang, like, I am so hyped up to see this, because they had Randall Park on there, they had Catherine Hahn on there, and I think like those, just like even those two people alone get me kind of hyped up, because Randall Park, he's pretty hilarious. I'm not sure if you guys ever watched like Fresh Off the Boat, where he was the dad on there, and he's just hilarious. He makes me laugh. But then also
Did they have Kat Dennings on there?
Yeah, they had Kat Dennings on there as well.
Okay. No, I'm interested to know, what role does she play? We know what she did in Thor,
right? But
what is she doing here? Does she work for SWORD? Is SWORD a big part of this? That's the big question. And how does
she was Valkyrie, right? She was Valkyrie.
She was who? Oh no, she played
Darcy. She was Darcy on Thor.
She was Jane Foster's sidekick.
Yes.
Jane Foster's sidekick? Oh.
Yeah. Yes. And so she's a scientist, or sort of a scientist. So we'll see what she does. And then Parks, we know he was an FBI agent in the Ant-Man series. So how does he get pulled into it?
Right. And that's the interesting thing, because even there was been kind of some speculation. I know even Josh was talking about that this morning about him being like a different character or his role just different, maybe because of the universes and stuff. But I do know in the in that interview today that they were doing, he said that he's playing obviously the same character, and he said the character has the same position, is doing the same thing basically. So apparently he is still working for the FBI. It's just to what capacity is he there? Where WestView is at, there along with Shield, and I presented my theories about that, but yeah, it is interesting how that's all going to play out because, like I said, he was the person that was monitoring all the people who were on house arrest and stuff. So, yeah. Are you headbanging to
So
the music?
you've got a scientist, you've got an FBI agent, and you've got somebody that might be a witch, but she seems, clueless in some of the scenes. So how all three of those fit in is going to be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of where I was thinking maybe that's where my whole theories like with the Pleasant Hill stuff comes in at, because like in Pleasant Hill they created a fake reality there that people seen, and to me it kind of reminded me of that same thing, where because you see her sitting there and stuff, reality is changing around her, and she's sitting there kind of like what's going on, and she like maybe she's changing it back or changing it to match. It's very very interesting stuff there for sure, for sure.
Yeah. My question is though, isn't Pleasant Hill supposed to be that prison where all the villains are kept?
Yeah, yeah. In the comic books,
Yep.
that's what it was. Yep. And that's and
Um,
that's and that's why kind of my theory with it with if they're going that route is maybe if we do see like Agnes there, who is so we're all guessing is Agatha Harkness. We see Wanda there, and maybe there's other mages there, which is kind of what made me think about Baron Mordo. Is maybe there's actually other mages there, people that know the mystic arts, and maybe they're actually all being contained and watched by Sword. Maybe they're all imprisoned in a small town.
Hold up, 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 hold up. So Wanda's in prison?
That's well. Would be my would be what the my kind of theory is maybe not in this case. It's a little bit different from what the comic book was. Where I'm thinking maybe they actually were watching her and something happened and they came in and tried to contain it, and maybe they did that using some of the technology that they have at their disposal, which is things like barf, like that technology that Tony Stark had, and they could create that to try to bring her back down from whatever reality she's doing. Maybe, who knows? Maybe they do have a prison created, and maybe she's there
Yeah, I
imprisoned.
mean, we'll see, that kind of makes sense because okay, the last time we saw her, she was, at the Sokovia Accords, and then everything, all hell broke loose with Thanos, and of course she got snapped.
Right.
And also she was in hiding. She was with Captain America because they were trying to get away from the Sokovia. They were basically heroes on the run.
Yeah.
Well, now that they got snapped back, the Sokovia Accords didn't just disappear, and I'm sure they're probably going to talk about that.
Right.
So, yeah, that she's probably either in prison or they're either looking at her, um, keeping an eye out on her because the Sokovia, that didn't get snapped away.
Right. Absolutely. And that's kind of what I was thinking too, is like maybe they put her on like house arrest, and that's what Randall Park is doing there, kind of monitoring her, and maybe an event happens and that's how he ends up there, cuz like, oh, like she went outside the perimeter, what happened? And just kind of like an Ant-Man and stuff, because they established a lot of those kinds of things there, like when he ends up showing up, like he don't normally just drop in on him just to be like, hey, what's going on. It's like perimeter breaches.
Look, if this turns out to be true, Look, I might have to make you my Lord and Savior, Trinity.
Dude, like if the whole Pleasant Hill thing actually happened to come true, like I'd probably gain 100 subscribers. People be like, "Oh, that guy knows that comic book. That's about all he knows." Maybe they.
It's a good theory, though. It's a real good theory.
Yeah. I mean, it would be great if it happens. There's just so many things like in the comic books that were going on at the same time with a lot of the same things that we see here on screen, that we've seen in these movies and everything so far. I mean, we got Cap handing the shield to Falcon. We've got Old Man Cap. We've just all these different things that are happening. We got the young, we see younger Avengers coming into the picture. We know Ms. Marvel is coming. We just everything just kind of culminating, and makes me seem like they need to kind of explode it, and this is a way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna. That's gonna be interesting. We know that when Monica is in there, when she's caught into this dome thing, it's like, why am I here? And then all of a sudden she smiles. So apparently somebody is, playing the puppet master. But, it's going to be interesting to see, how she fits in. Does she have her powers already? That's what everybody wants to know. Is this kind of an origin story? And then down the line, are we going to see her with powers? How is this all going to fit in?
Right. Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how they all do it because, as I said, they said it starts off this show and then it's going to go full-on blown MCU movie. So that's what I'm waiting for, and that's one of the things Kevin Feige actually even told us before was this is going to be MCU movie quality stuff, and that's kind of what I'm expecting out of it.
But at first it's not, though, and I think that's going to turn some people off.
Yeah. Because
the first couple of episodes, it's going to be that TV thing until supposedly, what Paul has said and what Kevin has said, that it's going to kind of like what they were saying in Mandalorian season 2, that it was going to pivot apparently halfway through the season, even if it takes halfway through the season. It's going to pivot.
Yeah.
So I think there's going to be a few people going, what is this? This was watching TV land, but hopefully we'll get some hints there and it'll be deeper. And then if everybody will just, just hold on, you will get, that MCU movie quality. But I think at first it's going to give you that kind of a TV quality. I think Kevin alluded to it in that interview today. I did see him talking about it, is because Disney Plus is like a TV stream, so they want to, MCU wants to try their hand on sitcoms. They do all these genres.
Right.
They're going to do the sitcoms. They're going to show you how it's connected. And then they're going to go straight into what the characters that we're familiar with and what they do, in the movies.
Yeah.
What's the beekeeper guy? What is that? Is he AIM? Is he part of SWORD? Who is he, Trinity?
Ooh, what do you think, Eric?
I'm sorry, I lost you there. You lost me on that one. What was it?
The beekeeper in
the
trailer.
Have you seen the guy?
The beekeeper?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Well, I think, I think he actually, one of the things I think that we're forgetting here is that Marvel loves to pull tricks with their trailers and throw stuff in there. And, I kind of still feel like maybe he does work for SWORD, or maybe it's fake and he don't work for SWORD. And maybe he actually works for AIM. And maybe it's an AIM logo on the back of his thing. Anyway, since beekeepers are synonymous with AIM.
That's what I'm thinking, too.
And
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and I think maybe he's actually there, and that's why I was thinking about the Pleasant Hill thing as well, because maybe he's there going into this reality through this manhole and everything to be a maintenance guy. Maybe he's tinkering on things, and because we see shortly after that the world starts changing around him and it starts going to color. So I'm thinking maybe he's somebody like that, that's there kind of messing with all of this reality and everything that's going on.
Mm-hmm. Oh well, I gotta go.
Okay, Eric.
I gotta go to
Already?
bed.
Well, thank you for stopping in, and we'll be doing this again. So come around next week. Make sure you're still hanging out, Eric.
All right.
You
Yep.
have a
Good
good
talking
night.
to you, Eric.
I gotta go to bed. Goodbye.
All right, man. Have a good
Okay,
one.
bye-bye.
You too.
Later.
Bye.
All right. Well, let me see. I think we can. Let's see. Eric left, so. And then I think so you guys aren't going to be on camera, so I think what I'll do is I think I can switch this to just audio. There we go. There we go. Can everybody still hear? Okay, maybe it's not catching you guys now. Okay, I don't think it is. Dang it. It's not for whatever reason it's not going alright. No, you should be fine.
His microphone off at the moment. Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
I'm
I think
still
it's
here.
back. There we go.
There he
It's back.
is.
All right. I don't know, for whatever reason it switched on there. All right.
Yeah, it says now Trinity is using a device that could record or broadcast this call.
Uh-oh.
What?
No, it
Yeah.
just says that in the background. It's not on the actual stream, so you straight.
Yeah. You should. Yeah. You'll be good. But so what else are you looking for? What are you looking forward to from the show, LB?
Man, like I said, man, I don't know any of these details. I saw the trailers and I just saw a bunch of clips from old type TV shows and then an action piece here and there. I haven't read anything about the show. I've avoided like these non-spoiler reviews, these theories. So I don't know anything about it. I'm going into this thing like a blind buy. So I I I know it's not gonna be bad because I mean I don't think Marvel's put out anything like, well, I don't know. Depends how I feel about some of those movies like the Dark World, Ant-Man and the Wasp. But for the most part, man, I wouldn't say they've put out something that was absolute garbage. So, I think since this is their first official TV series, I think Kevin Feige will go out of his way to make sure that this is a good product going forward for the rest of the series. So I don't have any doubts. And like they said, these are going to be movie quality. So because I mean Kevin Feige he comes from a movie background. I think the only TV show he worked on was Agent Carter, and he wasn't even like in the forefront of that. So like I feel like we'll be getting movies on Disney Plus with this, but people got to be patient. If the first episode isn't like Infinity War, they can't go around crying and quitting.
Right.
Because that's what they did with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's like, hold on, the first episode, where's Iron Man?
Yeah.
And then it's like, I'm out.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can switch scenes here and see if it'll keep you guys on here. Okay. Did it work?
Well,
There we go.
you know what's interesting to me that they've talked about that, like we know at least the first show, maybe the first few shows, we really don't know how many shows are going to be doing the sitcoms, and that they actually did film it in front of a studio audience.
Right.
So that is going to be, pretty interesting. And because that's what I want to know. We know it's eventually going to be movie quality, but is it going to be movie quality at first? Is it going to be a bunch of sitcoms together? So what I want to know is, how is the show going to start? Are they going to show her, right after Endgame and,
Right.
her upset or whatever? Or are we just going to go straight into Dick Van Dyke? We really don't know what's going to happen. And that's the
beauty of it.
of Marvel. So,
Yeah.
I just have to trust, But I know, but I know how everybody is. If
Yeah.
it was a bunch of sitcoms, everybody's going to go, "What is this? This isn't, this
Mhm.
isn't like LB said. This isn't Infinity War, So, and for the record, um, the MCU, like you said, you could call them trash. I like them all, but the TV series, and I guess they really weren't part of canon. But the worst thing that Marvel has ever done under Disney, even though they were separate divisions, was Inhumans. Oh, I
Yeah.
went to the theater to see that.
Oh,
Oh,
oh
because
man.
they wanted
I,
you to see the first 2 episodes.
I
I
almost went to
paid
that.
IMAX. It was terrible. It was an awful TV show. So
Yeah.
yes, I understand that Iron Man 2, Thor the Dark World, there's a few others that aren't as good as Winter Soldier or whatever your favorite is.
Right.
But it's not total garbage, no matter what you say. But your taste
Yeah.
is always different, and that's what's great. And everybody has different taste.
Yeah.
Trinity, like the other day when we was talking, well, not other day, when was it? About a week ago? Yeah, it was the other day, right? Well, whenever
Yeah,
we
it was
did
over
it.
the weekend.
One thing I didn't get to talk about, and then Mike brought it up, but it's like, what I'm looking for actually is to see what the quality of the show is from like a budget standpoint, because like with Mandalorians, when you first watch it, for anyone that pays attention to like the cinematography, the editing, all that stuff, it was, for me, it was kind of jarring seeing a live action TV show of Star Wars, because it's obvious they have a higher budget in the TV show, but it's obvious it's not a movie budget. So it took me a while to get into that world. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that is what will happen with the Marvel shows, or if the MCU has a bigger budget than Star Wars, which, I mean, I don't know. You would say they wouldn't, but I mean, at the present time, Marvel is the bigger brand, so maybe they do have a higher budget for the TV series. But I'm looking forward to seeing how that is, and if they're going the sitcom route for the first couple episodes, I mean, I doubt it will showing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
did they say this? And correct me if I'm wrong, Trinity and LB, but they're doing like 9 episodes, 6 episodes, but we always heard that they were going to do about 6 hours, and 6 hours on how much they would um, cost on an MCU movie. So we know that MCU movies are usually 2 hours. So if this is 6 hours, yeah, I think you're right, LB. It's not going to be 100% movie quality on every show, because they're budgeting out 6 hours instead of 2 hours. But
Right.
that's still a lot of money,
Yeah.
and it's still going to be good quality, but it may not be as good as quality as some of the other movies that we have seen in the MCU.
Yes. Some we'll definitely get some episodes where Wanda is not using her powers.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Right, right.
yeah, I was gonna say, and I think even just like the mere fact that the TV show episodes, I think those probably help lower the budget anyway, because you're doing that, and it makes me wonder if that's probably maybe why they added that into this season, because like, ooh, we can stretch a little bit more out of this, because we can build this world out a little bit more. We have the sets there, we might as well use them. We might as well use up the time, and then we can use more of that budget here, where we're just giving a little bit more. We're adding some salt and pepper here with these audience studio audience sections is definitely, yeah, something, probably a way to balance out that budget, because that's even something I noticed like in the movie. And I bring this one up, and I know it's not the best movie. LB's going to say something, but like they did with Aquaman, where you could see a lot of that in that cinematography, where the underwater stuff, you could tell they spent a bigger budget on, because I mean, it wasn't the best in the world, but it looked pretty decent compared to, there was some scenes above water that looked more like the lighting and everything, it looked more like television, like it was shot for TV, more so than like an actual movie. But
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
I wasn't going to say anything.
I was waiting. But let's get into the chat here. I seen. I want to thank everybody for being here, guys. I pinned. If you guys want to join the conversation, feel free to call there on Skype. You guys can join in the chat if you'd like. See, we got E equals MCU squared, or E equals MCU. Yeah, I guess it's squared on his thing. It says just reported that Namor is also in Black Panther 2. As long as that's not from We Got This Covered. Cool.
Man, I know this is off topic, but like I've been seeing all week about Black Panther 2 news. It's just like, man, whatever.
Yeah,
I
think it's tough to talk about because I think regardless of how you feel about it, about them choosing not to recast, I think everybody kind of wants Black Panther to carry on. I think everybody wants that. I mean, do you guys feel like they should recast?
No.
What about you?
Yeah. I mean, well, you know, it's a tough question because I would have to agree with LB, but we all love that character, you know, and we thought that character was definitely the future. I mean, they talked about Captain Marvel and then some of the newer characters, but we thought, you know, we didn't know what Chadwick was going through, which kills me. If I go to a doctor visit, I'm telling everybody in chat that I'm going to the doctor. I can't imagine what a man. You know, I mean, Chadwick is a man. I mean, you know, I mean, he just, I mean, he could have all told us about everything, but no, that just shows how great he is. And, I mean, the whole thing is saddening. So, yeah, I think we need to return. I think we need to retire the jersey.
Yeah.
Even though, you know, he's such a great character in the MCU. I think, you know, if they want Shuri to have the moniker, but to actually have T'Challa come back, yeah. I mean, we're going to get a Black Panther.
Right.
We're just not going to get T'Challa Black Panther. And it's a tough question. It really is.
Yeah, and to me, I mean, I think that's the thing is like there is a difference there with that. You know, unlike maybe something like Thor, where Black Panther is a mantle. That is actually just a mantle passed on to the king of Wakanda and the protector of Wakanda. So that's easily done to pass on that mantle. But I think just like the character of T'Challa is important enough to the universe. I think he's important enough that it would be important to recast him. But I certainly understand their decision in not doing it. I would like to see just that actual character carry on in the MCU because that character, even in the comics, he's cool as hell, man. Badass. And it sucks to lose that character. And, especially when, so many other times they've recasted characters, though, believe me, not probably as important of characters for sure. But, I mean, I think they could do a recasting, but hey, I respect the decision not to.
But out of respect for Chadwick Boseman, I mean, if it was any other actor, I mean, for goodness sake, the rumors are running around that maybe Captain and Iron Man didn't die,
Yeah.
So they always bring characters back. But if they recast T'Challa and not even talk about it, I think there's going to be heartburn with some people. And it's going to be divided fans is what it is.
Yeah.
And we don't want that.
Certainly not.
Before we move on, like just listening to you talk about it, it's like, man, it's making me sad, man. It's just like, and I'm not even a person that like death really don't affect me like at all, like especially with celebrities, because like celebrities, but like with this man and like Kobe is like, and I don't even like Kobe Bryant, but like he's a part of my life, my growing up, and it's just like I seen someone else play his character, even though like I didn't think T'Challa as a character was perfect, but like what he meant to a whole community of fans, whether it was new fans or old fans, and it's like what the movie did in the box office and the cultural phenomenon it was. It's just like, man,
Yes.
it's not like Trinity said, it's not like he's Thor and like Chris Hemsworth died. I mean, like they could recast it, but Black Panther is like a mantle, so someone else can take the mantle, or they can be like we're doing in real life. It's like, look, no one else will be Black Panther. We'll figure this out in a movie or something. Like, there's ways they can go around it, man. But I think it'll be bad if they recast, because if they recast, the person would never be able to live up to the character, no matter how great they do it.
Right.
It's true.
And I think that's kind of and at that point, I do think that's kind of the fault of us fans too. And us, not necessarily being babied, but being sort of catered to in that way, and maybe being listened to in that way, and that they're so worried about that in that sense. And I get, like I said, in this case, I totally get why they are, but sometimes I do think that we as fans are maybe sometimes, not in all cases, spoiled in that way. But like I said, I'm okay with it either way. I mean, I like in Feige we trust, right? I mean, does anybody not feel the same way?
Oh,
Yeah, I
well,
mean,
I definitely do.
Of course, I mean, you have no reason not to trust his judgment. And I mean, I'm thinking, like, while I was talking, I was like, you could use the Joker from The Dark Knight as an example, but at the same time, it's still not the same thing, because it's not like they put another Joker in the next movie. And I mean, it's a tough situation, but I agree with them saying I'm not recasting the character. We'll be all right. It'll suck, but we still have Black Panther. We still have Infinity War. We still got Civil War. I mean, he wasn't in Endgame much, but we still have him in there. So we'll always have the T'Challa character to look back on.
Yeah.
And I'm
Right.
sure they'll keep his memory alive in future movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I mean, even if Shuri turns into Black Panther, Black Panther will be there. But yeah, we need to respect Chadwick Boseman. I mean, I agree with LB. If it was or you, if it was any other character, but I just think it's too important.
Yeah.
But
I can agree with that. Equals, and here we got everybody like, okay, XR Coon is trying to trigger me here. Says, you're overthinking Jimmy Woo. Probably just got upgraded from FBI to Sword. Well, in the interview, if you watch the XR Coon, you would have seen he said he's playing the same person, same character, doing the same stuff. Stop trying to ruin my theory, XR Coon.
Hey, what's funny? I'm looking at the chat, and I've been seeing a lot of people clown we got this covered this week, but whenever we got this covered makes up something, everyone still covers it.
Right. I know. Yeah, absolutely. Red Raven 96 says, hear me out on this, but future X-Men MCU movies, Giancarlo Esposito as William Stryker.
No.
I don't know. I mean, here's the thing is, like, it seems like everybody wants to cast Giancarlo Esposito in every damn role. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I kind of feel the same thing about Michael Fassbender too. Everybody wants Michael Fassbender to play Doctor Doom, and I'm like, he's just playing Magneto again. Come on,
Well,
like that's no stretch of.
If Esposito, how do you say his name? If he comes to the MCU, I want him to have a substantial role. I mean, he's hardly in The Boys. He's hardly in The Mandalorian. I want him to have a huge role because he's a great actor. Yeah. I want to see more of that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, imagine if he came in even in a position, say, kind of like we see General Ross, who's been in the MCU forever, and he's not in everything, but he's in these kind of little parts, and every time you get him, he's freaking great. Every time you see William Hurt in the MCU, he's knocking it out of the park.
He's great,
but it's that same kind of thing.
It's short parts again. I mean, I am a big William Hurt fan, showing my age. The Big Chill. Oh my gosh, I love the Big Chill movie, and in the early '80s. So, but William Hurt is a fantastic actor, and he doesn't get used a lot. I would like to see him become the Red Hulk.
Yeah.
You know, or I would like to see him have a bigger role. But if
Yeah.
you're going to bring Giancarlo Esposito in the MCU, I don't want it to be wasted. Because, you
Right.
know, hopefully he'll get more in The Mandalorian. But in The Boys, it was a joke. I mean, it was like, okay, we're going to film you one day and everybody else, you know, it's like he was barely in 2 episodes. I
Mhm.
want more from him.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
seriously, like, I mean, I don't know the Marvel lore too much as far as the comic books, but like, are there any major black super villains outside of, like, only ones I know of is Bushmaster and like Killmonger. And isn't Bushmaster Luke Cage? No, no. What wasn't he Luke Cage a villain?
Who?
He was a villain
Bushmaster,
for Luke Cage, I think.
Bushmaster or something. So like, are there any like major black villains in Marvel?
I'd be the wrong person to ask that.
Yeah, I don't know with
Yeah.
that either.
I'm not a professional.
I mean, and even in like, say for example, like, I mean, the super villain, like one of the CGI super villains or something. You know, he could do that.
Yeah.
You know, somebody. Cause what's the guy? The guy's gonna, the man from Lovecraft Country or story. He's gonna be what? Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting how they integrate him into the MCU there with Ant-Man. That's gonna be awesome. I can't wait for that. I'm gonna say what's up to everybody in the chat. I see Gray made it in. Thank you so much for being here, Gray. Says, oh, she likes the haircut. I think she said that she agrees with Mike Porter about his on his view with the Black Panther thing as well. Perry Comics, thank you so much for being here. Equals MCU says we do not speak of that show that Scott Buck directed. Oh no, which yeah that
Inhumans.
was back on the Inhumans. Yeah, yeah. Ralph Dupree says I want to see Silver Surfer and Adam Warlock in the next Guardians movie. Also excited for What If. Yeah, absolutely. That should be good. I'm not excited about Guardians, but seeing Adam Warlock and even bringing in Silver Surfer is going to be good stuff. It's going to be good stuff. Red Raven says, guys, we didn't even get Black Widow out yet. Oh, I know, man. That's terrible. Yeah, as I'm saying, there's Ryan from Den of Nerds EP. Thank you so much for being here. Says we definitely are spoiled. Absolutely, we are spoiled as fans. Over Easy Mode, thank you so much for being here as well. Says yes, Bushmaster was a Luke Cage villain. Okay, yeah, there we go. I'm gonna say equals MCU. He'd know for sure. I'm gonna say I'm sure XR Coon, if he's still in the building, he'd know, man. These guys are far nerdier and probably more versed on some of the comic stuff than I am. So, and guys, if you want to join the chat, feel free to click the link. I pinned it there in the. Well, you probably can't see it there, but.
I ain't trying to make it a whole race thing, but this is like, you know, when people do these fan casts, it's like, hey, I want black actor to do this white character. It's like, I'm pretty sure there's plenty of black superheroes and villains in Marvel somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I mean, it's not 1,000 of them, but they're there somewhere.
Well, that's what, you know, that was one thing Stan Lee wanted to do. You know, he wanted to have, you know, diverse characters, and they would be that hero. And I think he was kind of trolling DC because DC was changing, you know, some of the race. And he's like, why don't you just come up with a character, you know, for that person, you know, instead of that. Yeah, and I totally agree with you.
It's not like they say, let's make the X-Men, let's make a black Magneto, make a black Professor X. Is like, why? Like, there's black characters in the Marvel comics, you know, and you know, if too. Not, and like Trinity mentions this all the time, Marvel doesn't always follow the comics. They can create a new character. I mean, they've done it in the MCU plenty of times. It's not hard to do.
Well, hey, I mean, look at Harley Quinn. Wasn't ever even in the comics. Was created from cartoon.
Right.
That's
they
true.
can do it. I don't think MCU fans are gonna be like, hold up, why are you making a new superhero?
And you know, maybe that's something they should. Maybe that's something they actually should do is create. I mean, because well, you know, I'm not even sure that Phil Coulson.
Yeah,
Was,
he
I don't
wasn't. He
think
was a brand new
think,
character.
I think him. I think Eric Selvig. I think both of them were actually from new from the MCU, and then they crossed over into the comics. I think both of them did.
Yeah, they could definitely make, and I've heard this John Campea talk about it, that yeah, I think Kevin Feige one day wants to make a new hero that's not based in the comics at all, because like both you and LB have said, in the MCU they've had characters that that are not in the comics, so it's time to do that. It's time to bring out somebody with superpowers, and I think everybody would embrace that.
Right. It's like, I mean, I don't work in Hollywood. I don't know their minds, but for me as a creator, it's like you want to try something new. Like you want to see if, like, they've done nothing but movies based on previous characters. Why not make a movie based on a new character that they created and seeing if this works?
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Highly doubt it
they
would
could
fail.
introduce him, in the movie, and if it's big, he could have his own movie.
Boom.
Right.
There you go.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely. Ryan says, if we get Silver Surfer in Guardians, I'm thinking they're going Cosmic Thor, and I'll be okay with that. All right.
Oh,
All right. Over Easy Mode says, stream quality has gone up. Well, thank you. Yeah, I was gonna say I got my camera hooked up now, so yeah, we're hopefully making it look a little bit better. Jonathan Velasquez, thank you for being here, says, in modern times, do you guys think you could name a black superhero after a political group and not trigger people? Oh, you mean like Black Panther? Yeah. Doubtful.
Well, Black Panther was created before the Black Panthers.
It's true.
Yeah.
They actually might have even taken the name from the character. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I honestly wouldn't know for sure the timing of all that, but yeah, I'm the wrong person to ask on that. Over Easy Mode says Nick Fury wasn't black. Yeah, right. Yeah, I was gonna say, I know he was traditionally always a white character, and I think what was in the Ultimate Universe, they made him and they drew him to look like Samuel L. Jackson, and then that's kind of what brought it all about, I believe.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Equals MCU says Coulson too, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Batman Beyond was a cartoon series, then after. Okay. Okay. So it was okay. Seeing that I didn't know that it was a cartoon first and then became all right. Same kind of thing. Gray says she has to go. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here, Gray. And Gray, we need to get you back on the show again soon. Whiskey Steals and Tumbleweeds, thank you so much for being here. Yeah, but he wasn't. Oh, damn! Thanks for the fact, but he wasn't canceled. Who wasn't? Oh, okay, all right, yeah. But so, what else are you guys looking forward to for the show?
I'm looking forward to talking about it.
One of the things I wanted to point out in the show, it was just something weird that I noticed. I mean, like, combing through all these trailers and everything, I noticed, and I should have got the photos here to show you guys, but in the trailer we got a much better picture of it. But there is the guy that's there with Agnes, where she's sitting there laughing and talking to Vision, where he's like, "Hey neighbors," and the guy that's the black guy with the afro that says, "Hey buddy," he's sitting there wearing this gold watch that we actually see Vision wearing that same type of gold. I mean, it looks like it. I mean, of course, a lot of things kind of go with that anyway. Always keeping up with the Joneses, especially on a TV show. But he's wearing this same gold watch, and it was just something I noticed. I'm like, it's so weird. Why am I noticing that? And I noticed it in several different scenes.
You going way too nerd for me, bro. Like, look, for me to know these things, I need to see a Captain American shield in Iron Man 2. Those are the kind of Easter eggs I need to see. Otherwise, that a watch, I'm not noticing that.
Yeah, like I said, it's just me nerdy.
a lot of people think that he might be Mephisto. I'm not really sure, but that's what
Right.
And what is the deal with that? Where they're writing Wanda and Vision, and Paul Bettany looks like a human. They're riding a double bicycle through the square, and all these people have like tables out there. What is that all about?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about? It's like in front of a store, and they have these tables with checkered board, and I think that's when Agnes and that character you were talking about is
Hmm.
just sitting out there.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Well, we do know that that's the town center, the town square, because that's where they're doing the little magic show. And it's obviously something they have there at that town center for that. It must be like a little park. And I know back home where I grew up at, we kind of had something like that as well, like a little park there, and they had tables and stuff out there almost like that. But I think it's something that they have there throughout the show, because even in later scenes where we see it's kind of like I don't know, it would be like a Modern Family look, where we see the camera spinning around Wanda. We see all the other townspeople, and we still see that same gazebo in the background. So it's obviously like a town center or someplace where they're there doing that stuff. I think it's just that small town feel, maybe.
Right, right. Where I live, there's a square. You know, well, a couple cities down from me, Square of Marietta, and you would have the gazebo there where there were weddings, and then they made a bigger gazebo for the band and everything like that. And it's a park and everything. But here it looks like it was like part of the concrete or whatever, and they just decided right in front of the store to put all these checkered board tables. But yeah.
Right. Yeah, yeah, and it is weird too, because I mean they're in front of what is it, Wentworth's? And I know when I was growing up it was a Woolworths. Isn't that what it was? Woolworths?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's
See,
that,
I'm not
that's
that young.
their decision. Well, what about the helicopter? Is that a toy, or is that a real helicopter that now that she's holding in her hand?
See, and my theory on that is that it was a real helicopter. And my theory on that was because I was thinking that maybe if we actually do have AIM here, maybe if Sword has actually been infiltrated by AIM, which, would be, I mean, that's kind of highly likely. Look at Shield. The but I was thinking, like, remember, like, Carson Mitchell had that Pym particle, or it wasn't the Pym particle, it was actually the Cross particle that Darren Cross had made, and he made off with some of that in the first Ant-Man movie. And if he ends up working for AIM, and doing stuff like that for AIM, because he was working with the Ten Rings in the Ant-Man movie. So maybe, we know that he's for hire pretty much. Maybe he actually took that particle, and maybe they're using that and shrinking stuff down, and they, just maybe they're using it to survey the place. I don't know.
See, this is what I really like about the MCU. Everything goes, from the end game, and you think that's the end. But there were a lot of characters like, Young Avengers and everything like that was introduced there. And also, earlier movies now still have Easter eggs that will be harvested in the fourth phase. So it's not just Endgame set up some things or Infinity War. The whole Infinity Saga is still bearing, consequences to
Right.
what is coming out. And I'm sorry. I know I sound like a stan, but it's so incredible what they do. And,
Yeah.
it would be great to see that, I mean, remember, what was it? Was it in Iron Man 2? They were talking about Wakanda, and we didn't get to Wakanda until years later,
Right.
I
But
I I love the point you made about the consequences, like from like Endgame. Like I mean, we only saw a glimpse of it in Spider-Man Far From Home, but we don't know the full details yet of what the snap did to the world as far as people, superheroes, villains, powers, none of that stuff yet. So there could be a whole lot of things coming from that, and even from reversing it. Like so many things, that possibilities. Like, you know, did this open a whole new dimension somewhere, or did this change some personalities of people we haven't seen in a while? We don't know. Just gotta look, wait and find out.
Absolutely.
Good point.
I'm laughing. Ralph Dupree was saying when we were talking about the town square, he says outdoor cafe, and he says maybe it's the annual strawberry festival.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that just hit me funny. I'm laughing. A duder says apparently episode 3 takes on an underlying horror vibe, and I've heard the same said about Doctor Strange 2. Yeah, that'll be interesting. It'll be interesting.
Yeah. They said that with the first Doctor Strange movie, and what did we get?
And I just don't. And here's the thing: is I don't really see them going big time, like maybe just horror vibes. I don't really see them going over the top with that on Disney Plus, considering it's supposed to be, it's like family style, and they're wanting to do that thing with it, sorta. I don't really see them doing that, but it would be cool. Believe me, you inject more horror, I'm all for it. ReeferMan says, what if every single piece of footage we've seen from the show so far is all that from that first episode or two? I'm almost willing to believe that it is. What about you guys?
I agree. We're not seeing everything, and I totally agree with Wayne. That's what I was kind of talking about, because they show some things that look like they would be part of MCU movies, but especially when Monica gets thrown out the dome, and then you see like people, it's like at night, and they're trying to retrieve. That is the only time through all the trailers that look like MCU. Most of the time, now you do see Wanda and you do see Vision use their powers,
right,
as they're going through the little town or whatever. But for the most part, all we're really seeing is the sitcom, the sitcom part of it all.
right.
Yeah. I don't believe these trailers. Like I said the other on the thing, the podcast thing, like they lied to us in these trailers. So
Right.
there's a lot of footage that probably ain't even in the show, and like stuff that is in the show is probably from the first episode. So, everything we saw in the trailer, people, they just doing it so you speculate.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Even Ryan here says, I'm saying how much of the trailer is fake footage, like Marvel normally does. Absolutely. And Jonathan Velasquez even saying that as well. Called out that one misdirect on the Den of Nerds Discord. Oh, I didn't see that. What misdirect is that? That's interesting. Yeah, because they're always pulling their normal tricks. Like, who don't we see in these things? Who aren't we seeing in these trailers? Did they just edit somebody out like they did the Incredible Hulk? Or, are
Right.
we, who knows? Who knows? Eric Heine says he's back, just checking in to see how everyone's doing. Well, thank you so much for being here, Eric. We're chilling, man.
Life hasn't been the same since you left, Eric.
Yeah, good job, Eric.
Yeah. Red Raven 96 says Avengers Age of Ultron, they name drop Wakanda also. Yeah. And there's a whole lot of interesting things here. Like I said, I've kind of been going back and watching some of these movies, and because every time we move forward in the MCU, you kind of almost have to go back and watch these movies, because you pick up on new little things here and there that were said. And one of them I was talking about the other day on the stream was where we seen in Iron Man 3, when she's sitting there talking to Aldrich Killian in the office, and he says he's been working for years to sidestep the president's outlook or government regulations about illegal gene technology, like basically DNA, like basically altering people's DNA. And that's where he started showing her about the thing with his mind, and showing her his big brain and all of that stuff. And like everything, the way he worded everything in there sounded very much like okay, who were you working with doing this experimentation, and was it Dr. List and Von Strucker and everything like we seen in Age of Ultron, which Age of Ultron came shortly after that. And it makes me wonder that same thing, like, was, maybe he was working, maybe Aldrich Killian was working with AIM. AIM was working with them as at that time, which would have still been Hydra at that time. Maybe they were all working together to do that. And then we've also seen lately they were talking about the Shuri files, and how they were saying that they were there doing some of that experimentation in Sokovia because of some of the gene patterns of some of the people. So it makes me wonder if all that's kind of playing in together at this point.
Are you talking about like an Easter egg for mutants? And even though they really couldn't touch it, they kind of played around with the words. And now that they do own that, they can just go ahead and another Easter egg harvest and go ahead and introduce the mutants that way.
Pretty much.
Or was I off base? Was that even a mutant rev? But that's what I think of when you were bringing that up, and I was like, that's right. I remember all of that, but now it's like it can fit into that new mutant or the mutant reality that we are going to get. And well, Trinity, do you think we're going to get mutants named because she might be a mutant herself? Do you think we're going to get mutants in WandaVision?
Absolutely. And I think, like my man Chillmonger said, I think he put it perfectly. He says maybe what they actually do is, punctuation is important. Maybe they put a comma in "no more mutants" and make it "no more mutants," and maybe she actually creates mutants.
Oh, let me ask you this. I was watching this earlier today because I was thinking about it. What's her name? Olsen? Is it
Elizabeth?
Elizabeth. Thank you. There it is. The old man with his boomer brain is not working. Anyway, Elizabeth 4 years ago did an Allure shoot, Allure magazine, and it was like 3 minutes long, and it was a YouTube video where she was talking about her character throughout the comics. And
Mm-hmm.
she even goes through that no more mutant thing.
Right.
And I'm just wondering, was that something Allure wrote, or is that something that the MCU is definitely going down that road? But 4 years ago would have been before the Fox deal.
Right.
So maybe it was just consequent. Maybe it's just a coincidence because that our character, is that in the comics.
So I got a theory for you. Maybe she's like, I want more people like me, and she creates mutants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Inclusivity.
Jonathan Velasquez says there is only one Monica, not two, as some have speculated. Monica doesn't walk up to another Monica on the ground in that night scene. You know what, Jonathan? And I'm going to absolutely 100% agree with you there, because I've thought the exact same thing. The vehicles that are there that pull up are in a different formation, and they're different vehicles that are pulling up there that we see from the far off shot than we see in that close up shot. So, or in that shot with Monica getting out and seeing her behind that guy, and yeah, I'm totally with you there, Jonathan. I'm with you there. I know that's a misdirect. I know. Yeah, I'm dead sure on that one. Yeah,
I agree.
Hey, also, I wanted to point out about.
Did you read the chat, LB?
See, I can't read the chat. What does it say?
Eric Heine says, LB, are you lonely tonight? Because I got you company.
Eric, I am always lonely, but I felt a little less lonely with you tonight.
We got to go Arsenio on that one.
Hey, but you you want to know something though? When we mentioned the misdirects and stuff, Von Strucker was a classic example of a misdirect.
Mhm.
They made him seem like he was going to be something. He was in the movie for like 2 minutes.
That's true.
Right, right. Yeah, and what's funny is, and that's funny too, because some of that crossover with Von Strucker actually was some of that was crossed over in Agents of Shield, which
That
we all
too.
know that it's not necessarily canon, but like Doctor List and some of that stuff was actually crossed over from the MCU into the show, back into the
Yeah.
movies.
Yep.
So that's a
Well,
mess.
I mean, Agent Carter is supposed to be a spinoff of Agent of Shield, and Jarvis, the same Jarvis that was in Peggy Carter, Agent Carter,
Yeah.
was in Endgame. So I don't know if you want to call it not canon or if you
I'm,
do want to call it.
I
That's up
mean,
to you.
I I would say Agents of Shield is canon because they had episodes like, for example, what Trinity was talking about. They had an episode that led directly into the Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Like
true.
they had the whole they've had arcs that tied directly in, but this is like, after a while, you was like, okay. I
Yeah.
guess it was when the split happened with Marvel TV and studios becoming separate when everything was just like, you know what, y'all can have that. You ain't got nothing to do with what you doing over here in the MCU.
Yeah, it was almost like someone having a conversation, and this one person would talk to this other person, but the other person wouldn't respond.
Yeah,
So the TV show tried to link to the movies, but the movies never linked to the show.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Remember
ReeferMan
Seth?
Reviews. Huh?
Remember Seth? She
Yeah,
came
yeah,
on
Yeah,
the show,
yeah, yeah,
and so did
it
Nick
it
Fury.
it went
yeah.
after the split. It got to a point where the TV side was like, you know what? They're never going to acknowledge us in the movies. We're just
Yeah,
gonna do whatever we want.
There
yeah,
you go.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Cause,
That's
yeah,
what
because
happened.
I think that stuff with Doctor List and Von Strucker. I think that was still in the first season.
Nah,
Of
yeah,
Agents
it
of
was
Shield.
it was the second half. Yeah, it was the second half of the first season because like that's when it kicked into gear. It was like, oh, the
Yeah,
show's getting real good now.
yeah. Because I think that was the same. It was the same season that Sif was in too, right? I think it
Yeah,
was. Yeah. So yeah, it must have been like that first season. I think they were just trying to. They wanted to work it out, and I think after that, all the split happened. They're like, nah, all right, forget it. Oh man, Wayne says I can believe that they would use her to introduce mutants to the MCU. However, I don't think they will straight have her be the one to create mutants. Yeah, yeah,
Right.
could be. Yeah, yeah, that's believable. It's so hard to say because I mean they've got to find some way to bring them into the universe and to do all of that. They've got to find some way to do all that. And hey, man, in Feige we trust. I think he's going to find a good way to do all that.
And I think you could sprinkle it in without you not even knowing it, and then the character later on can be. But in so many of the movies, I think that's what's going to happen. Just like everybody wants Fantastic Four, you know, they may show up in someone else's movie before they get their own movie. And
Yeah,
and I think that's the way it's going to be with mutants. I think they're going to be, and Josh has talked about that. I think they're going to be sprinkled out,
absolutely.
within the shows and the movies. But
Yeah,
we're definitely going to get them. And like you say, in Feige we trust because he's going to do it completely different than what Fox did.
right.
And with Fox did some of it very well. So, but you know, Feige's got the plan.
Yeah, yeah, and that's like I think it was a long. It's been probably about 2 years ago. I did a video talking about how I think they will integrate mutants into the MCU, and it's been a while. I watched it a while back, and I think I still stand behind a lot of it because what I said in that video was I think what they're going to do is introduce us to certain characters here and there throughout the, in different movies and everything, and then eventually they're going to put them all in a movie together, just like they did the Avengers, culminating in the X-Men movie. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
That's a possibility.
Is Eric back?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Eric.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Welcome back.
You've got any other theories, Eric?
About what?
About anything?
Life.
Yeah, tell us about life.
Fatal Play, thank you so much for being here.
Eric, you make me laugh. You're like, about what? Like, what were you talking about, Eric?
What are you talking about?
Eric, like, why am I here?
Did you come back to keep LB some company?
Yeah.
Hey man, I appreciate it. See, that was on his mind. He completely forgot what this stream about. He's like, man, I'm coming to keep LB company. That's cool. Much love, man.
That's nice.
Jonathan Velasquez says, I've read that they're going to use Monica's backstory to introduce her as a mutant. Basically, her mom gets blasted with Captain Marvel juice when she's preggers with Monica. You know what? And I was thinking about that too. And I was thinking about something else too. Is like, with the Skrulls, how do we know that Monica's not a Skrull? Like, maybe if there was the two Monicas we've seen, which we already see eye to eye on that, Jonathan. But if there was, who's to say one of them's not a Skrull? Because she was friends with Monica when she was a kid, the daughter of Talos.
How old is she now? Like 25?
Yeah, I would say so, because I mean, that was supposed to be in like mid 90s, 94, 95 in Captain Marvel. So you think 25 years later, I mean, we're talking about you know what, maybe like 30s, mid 30s.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Jonathan says Monica's already a mutant the whole time. Yeah. Ooh man. I'll be honest with you, man. If they do that, if they change Monica to be a mutant, that's gonna piss a whole lot of people off.
Why?
I don't know what that happened. I don't.
Yeah. Rob
Why
Caprice
would it irritate people if they change it? Is it just not too much like the comic book?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because one thing it would bring up is for one, because they already, what they did with Carol Danvers and Captain Marvel, that already what they did there, and then having her and then changing, and then they go through and then they kind of do the same thing with Monica and completely fudge up her story, and yeah, that would I think that would upset a lot of people. Definitely, I think that would definitely make a lot of people upset.
Yes, a lot of people are.
For me, like I mean, I mean, it's known that I'm not really a big person into the comics or whatever. But like for me, don't change. What's up, Eric?
I'm trying to in the dark here. I'm in the dark. I'm in the dark.
You are?
Okay.
Me too. I'm in the cave right now. But what I was going to say is, like, for me, like, don't change the character's backstory unless, like, well, they have the rights to everything just about now, so there's no reason to do that anymore. So it's like, why are you changing stuff unless there's like some racial or some crazy undertones behind it? Like, don't change that stuff. Keep the core of the character the same.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of like they already messed up Captain Marvel in that sense. So it's kind of like, if they do that with Monica, man, I feel there'll be some even more backlash about it. I think.
Right. Like don't make random character a mutant just because you want to add mutants.
Right. Yeah, and I don't think Feige will do that.
Because they've got a lot of chances to bring out the people that already are mutants in all these shows and everything, you know. And if it is a consequence, that's something that Wanda does, that's fine. I mean, because Wanda is supposed to be a mutant, but bring out. I agree. I was wondering why that was a problem. She's not a mutant in the comics, so you don't need to. You've got plenty of mutants to bring out and introduce. And you know what? I don't know that much about all the X-Men, but aren't there a lot of characters that they didn't even explore that was in the comics that they could bring in, to the MCU?
Yeah,
Oh
there's a
yeah,
lot, man.
absolutely, absolutely.
I mean, watching the X-Men movie, there's like Easter eggs in that. Like they just throw characters in them just because. Like don't even use them or name them. It's like,
Right.
okay, why?
Give
Yeah.
me one good example, though. One good example.
What happened?
Give me one good example.
Eric,
That.
Eric, are you eating dessert right now?
No, I have retained him.
Oh, you guys retainer in, huh?
Ah,
Oh, you want
Well, I mean, we know
example of what?
there's Gambit. That's
Example of
one
a character
example.
that we haven't seen in the X-Men world yet.
Well,
there's quite a bit. I mean, because
yeah,
even
there's
in
Gambit.
yeah. Well, I mean, we were kind of seeing
Ja-
Gambit in the X-Men, kinda, if you want to consider that.
Damn it! We haven't seen Gambit yet.
I think
Yeah, you're right.
we've seen most of the bigger, more popular X-Men for sure. I mean, there's still a whole lot of them out there. I mean, like we haven't seen Forge. We haven't seen
Morph.
Morph. We haven't seen Destiny. We haven't seen. I mean, there's just so many out there, and that's the hard thing is because most of the ones that are the bigger ones are the popular ones. The popular ones are kind of the ones that everybody knows, which are probably the ones they'll go with for the most part. Although we know Kevin Feige likes to take those little ones out there that people aren't thinking of to do something with, which is kind of interesting because I think that's what Jonathan Hickman has kind of found a way to do in the comic books right now in his current storyline, is found mutants that were somewhat not important and somewhat obscure to make important and make not so obscure. So I think that's kind of what we're looking at here is where they'll take some of those characters that aren't as well known to bring them into this new universe.
That's very Kevin Feige because look at the Galaxy, the Guardians of the Galaxy and Ant-Man. So that is something Kevin Feige would do.
yeah. I mean, there's plenty of X-Men characters out there. If you wanna include everything in the X-Men movie, there you go. I mean, there's thousands of them, man.
Mm-hmm. And they're making up more as they go.
Exactly.
Yeah, wasn't there supposed to be a Gambit movie? A Gambit movie with Channing Tatum?
Yeah, that was a while back. I don't think that's gonna happen again. I don't think that's gonna be happening. Kevin Feige ain't gonna do that, and I certainly hope not. Because like Channing Tatum is all right, but I'm not sure if I want to see him as the Cajun.
Right. Well, let me ask you this: y'all are bringing this up earlier. Who do we think, if they do, a big reveal? Who do we think that we have seen the whole time in the MCU? And we know who that character is, but it turns out that character is a Skrull.
Oh, that's easy. It's gotta be Maria Hill.
Man, we talked about that Trinity.
Yeah, it's gotta be Maria Hill.
It'll be War Machine.
Yeah, I was gonna say War Machine. Yeah, War Machine would be another one too. But I'm thinking Maria Hill too.
Well, what about William Hurt's character, Thunder Ross, or whatever his name is?
That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting.
But Maria Hill, that is and I didn't even think about Don Cheadle's character being a Skrull.
Yeah, definitely. A dude review says, I heard a rumor they were going to bring Firestar and Iceman into a future Spider-Man movie during his college years. That could very well be. Hopefully they don't do the Iceman that do. I don't really want to get into that. Not to this close to the end of the show, but yeah, that'd be interesting. Them doing that, and I honestly think that with Spider-Man, the next Spider-Man movie, they're probably going to start bringing in the Fantastic Four into that, just because they got the same director. They kind of Easter egged it in the last Spider-Man movie, so I think it'll probably be in the next. I think it'll probably definitely be in the next Spider-Man movie that they start to bring in the Richards for sure. But anyway, does anybody have any last comments before we get ready to go? I got to bring the stream to an end and get ready to go feed the kids for the night. Anybody have any closing comments? Eric, do you have any last things you would like to say?
I just like to say, thank you everybody for joining us. It's been a great time here on this stream, and hopefully we'll do it again.
Yeah, well, thanks for being here, Eric. Appreciate you being here. And hey,
Yeah,
they're telling you in the comments next time, no retainer.
No retainer, why?
Because we can't understand you, man. But Eric, thank
I
you so much for
understood you.
being here. I understood you. I can translate. I can translate. But thank you so much for being here, Eric. Do you have any parting comments, Mike Porter?
Same thing with Eric. I appreciate, everybody. And, I'm looking forward to the next few years, because now here we are on the roller coaster. We're about to go up the hill, and and we're going to be riding it for a while with the MCU. So I'm looking forward to it. And thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. And what about you, LB? Any closing comments?
No, not really, man. It was thanks for having me. It was good talking with some Marvel fans and stuff. Always good to have that conversation. Shout out to everybody in the chat and everybody watching. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely, everybody. Thank you so much for being here, Eric, Mike Porter, LB. Guys, if you're not already, go check out LB's channel over at The Lonely Banter. Good stuff. Go check out his channel. Check out his content. I'm sure he's going to be doing some WandaVision watch-alongs and reviews and things and streams as well. I think we all are, because we're all going to be so excited moving here into this, finally moving into another phase here in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But guys, we're going to do another community stream next week. So if you guys want to get involved, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Come hang out and stuff, and we'll get together and have we'll have. Oh man, I almost went Hanna-Barbera there. I can't do that. But we'll have a good time. You all have a good day, and we'll see you. Enjoy WandaVision tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow morning in the next video. Later.